What I will show you with this video is how I recommend planting trees and how I plant trees myself. This is one that we've just planted, and I did a little bit different technique on making the hole large. I'll show you how to do that without actually digging the hole large. You can make it larger as you backfill. But this is a ginkgo that has beautiful fall color, as all ginkgos do. I just planted it. It was over right at 95 degrees when it's planted. You can see it's got a little bit of discoloration, but it didn't mind going in the hot weather at all. I'll show you how the process works. What we're doing here is kind of a quick planting job. This is a replacement, so we're doing kind of a down and dirty job. But you see what I did? I made the hole bigger after the fact. You only have to have the hole wide enough at the bottom to get the tree in, and then at the top is where we want it to be wider. So we're creating that wider aerated hole by doing this at the end. We'll put a little of the soil we dug off the top on to finish it. Making the hole wider after the fact like this, you also get the topsoil mixed down in the hole. I don't like amendments being put down in the hole at all. Compost, rock minerals, the sugars. But once we get it all finished and leveled out, we put the amendments on the top of the wall. Don't bury them down in the hole. You end up with a very aerated backfill with the native soil that came out of the hole, but it's primarily going to be topsoil because of the fact that I chipped it in from the sides. And then we'll put a little bit more that we dug out to begin with. It also came from the surface. You can see that the flare is very well exposed. We left it, a little weed here, we left it very well exposed even in the container, and now it's well above the soil level. I'm going to leave these lower leaves. We call that trash trunk. That helps the development of roots real quickly. Some people don't think it looks good, but doesn't matter, it works well. Another thing that I don't do, I don't thin out the top. Of course, you never need to with a ginkgo because they're very open anyway, but I don't really recommend cutting any of the canopy out at all. You want as much foliage as possible because that helps to produce food, make the roots grow better. I don't build watering rings. I don't wrap the trunk. I don't do a lot of things that some people recommend. And I find that the trees always establish better and grow quicker that way and more healthy. You also don't want to tamp the soil. You want to settle the soil with water. Tamping tends to form air pockets in the ground, and that can be a problem. So we settle the soil, and you can put a light top dressing of mulch over the top, but it needs to be very thin, and you never want to build up the mulch up on the flare or the trunk of the tree. Okay, and here is the completed planting of the ginkgo tree, planting it the way I recommend, the natural way. I put lava sand on top of the disturbed area of soil, and then shredded native cedar on top of that as the mulch. The cedar does not cover the flare. It's very thin. It's a thinner layer of cedar than I used to recommend. It needs to be a couple of inches deep at the outside edge of the disturbed bare area, and then reducing in height to 0 at the trunk of the tree. Holds the moisture in the soil. The fragrance repels insects, and it breaks down very well to form compost. No staking, no wrapping the trunk, no thinning out of the tree. This is a little ginkgo I grew myself from a seed from my very unusual large female tree. But this is how I recommend to plant all trees, even fruit trees and trees in containers.